Hi, hope you're having a great day. You're watching JG Entertainment, and for this video, I'm going to be going over the plot leak from The Flash, the whole Flash movie. There was a whole plot leak, so I'm going to be going over that. I have no idea if it's real or fake. Something sounds really real, something sounds really fake, so I can't really guarantee you that this is real, or I can't really guarantee you this is fake, or mostly I can't really guarantee that this is all real, but I can assure you that probably some things are real. So, with that being said, spoiler warning, if you really don't want to know anything about the Flash movie, then please don't watch this video, because then I do think that some things might be real. So yeah, I just want to leave that spoiler warning. Now, if you don't care, then might as well let's go with plot leak, and let's see if you end up liking the plot or not. It's definitely gotten very mixed reactions in the internet, so let's just go over it all, and tell me all your thoughts about it down in the comments after you hear about it. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so quick disclaimer, these leaks are in no order, they just come in the, I'm just reading them off the list that I found. So these leaks are in no order, they're just off the list. So yeah, let's get started with the first one. And the first one says that there is 100% a tease for the Reverse Flash. When Barry's mom is killed, a yellow figure shows to Barry, and kind of like lunges at him, but Barry escapes before the yellow figure can get to him, which I think is going to be kind of similar maybe to the Flash show, perhaps, maybe. There is no actor and no voice. It's pretty hard to make of what the figure is. It's just kind of like this yellow thing standing in the dark, and you can see like a yellow arm and some red eyes, but that's pretty much it. You can't see any actor or any voice, so I think they're just going to keep that for later, for whenever they can actually cast a really good actor for the Reverse Flash. So that's the first leak, and that actually kind of, I'm like mixed on it, because I think this is supposed to be like a Flashpoint movie, so the fact that they're not going to have the Reverse Flash in it is just kind of dumb for me. But at the same time, I think that this is a good way to tease the Reverse Flash, just like to put him on the table and use him later. So I guess that makes sense, but I have explains about that. Okay, now we went to the second part, and the second thing is that apparently, according to this person, the emotion reports are really good for this movie. Apparently, Erza has an amazing chemistry with the woman who plays his mom, Barry's mom. So apparently that's really good. And they said that apparently a bunch of people cried whenever Barry realized that he couldn't save his mom. And apparently it's 1,000 times better than the one in the CW show, The Flash. So that's really interesting to see. And the reason why he's saying that he heard a bunch of people cry is because there was a bunch of test screenings for this movie. So that makes sense that he heard a bunch of people cry, because they usually do those before the movie releases. They do test screenings, so to make sure that the movie's good, to make sure the audience likes it. So apparently the audience really felt emotionally attached to the plotline between Erza, between Barry and his mom. So that's really good, and apparently it hits really nicely emotionally. So that's a really strong point. Alright, moving on to the next thing, and apparently Black Flash is not the villain of the film. As I was stated earlier, Black Flash is not the villain of the film. However, it is a future Flash wearing the Black Flash suit. So they kind of merged these two characters together, and essentially, like I said, just future Flash wearing the Black Flash suit, so which is kind of interesting. It's kind of weird, but I guess it makes sense. Apparently, there's 3 Barrys in the movie. There's the main Barry that we already know. There's the Barry that has long hair that we've seen in the trailers and a bunch of leaked photos. And there's another Barry that also comes from the future. So there's 3 Barrys in the movie. The long hair Barry that you see in the trailer gets brutally killed by the evil Barry, who apparently, so that's interesting. Apparently it's not just like a really easy kill. No, apparently it's a really brutal kill. So it seems to be like a really big part of the movie. So that's interesting. So yeah, that's basically what the villain is going to be from the movie. Basically, like, plot twist is supposed to be that the evil Barry, the Black Flash suit wearing Barry, is actually just the second Barry, the long hair Barry, but from the future. His motivation is that when the DCU Barry came to his universe, he ruined everything and destroyed his world. He had gotten obsessed into saving his world, and he keeps trying to reverse time from getting destroyed, but every time he does, he fails. So he decided to go after the person who caused this, which is Barry from the DCU, the one that we know. So that's basically kind of like a plot twist. I'm assuming that's after long hair Barry gets killed, you realize, oh, there's this other Barry, and he's actually the same one that you were working with. I guess it's a plot twist. I guess that can work. I think I have to see more how it actually goes in the film. But for right now, I think the villain sounds kind of interesting. It kind of sounds a lot like Savitar a little bit to me from the Flash show, but it sounds interesting. I think they can do some pretty cool, interesting stuff with it. So I'm down to see how to do it. Okay, now that is apparently the future Flash, the Black Flash villain, will spend 10 years trying to reverse time and figure out a safe way to stop Zod from destroying his world, because apparently it was the DCU's Barry's fault that Zod destroyed his world. So that's interesting. We have already heard a bunch of rumors saying that Zod is back. No, it wasn't even rumors. I think it actually got confirmed. So we can guarantee this is probably true. So yeah, that's really good. And apparently Barry was about to go back in time, but someone, future Barry, tried to kill him and accidentally knocked him out of the Speed Force into an alternate world, which was Keaton's world. And by Barry tries to go back in time, I mean the main Barry, DCU Barry, the one that we know. He tried to go back in time to try to do probably this exact same thing. We're not really sure. But like I said, future Barry, Black Flash wearing Barry, tried to kill him and accidentally knocked him out of the Speed Force. Not he really tried to kill him. He wasn't trying to knock him out. And so he found this alternate universe, and it was Keaton's universe, Batman, Keaton's universe. So yeah, that's really interesting. That's how you get to Keaton's world. I don't know how far into the movie this is. I'm kind of curious to see it. It sounds kind of far, but I don't really know how long the movie is in general, so we'll see. Then moving on, Sasha Calle Supergirl is said to be one of the best parts of the movie, with some calling it the best performance in the movie, so that's actually super interesting. So you can tell that Sasha Calle is really, really strong in the movie, and I think that's pretty cool. I think she looks like a great Supergirl. I'm really excited to see her as Supergirl. She honestly looks really awesome, and I think they can do some really cool stuff with her action scenes. So yeah, I'm fully down for Sasha Calle Supergirl. I think that's going to be super, super cool. Now, for more explanation, Barry 1, our Barry, the one that we know, got stuck into Keaton's world. As we know, somebody tried to kill him, he fought the Speed Force, and that's where he finds Barry 2, the one with the long hair, which also has powers, so that Flash powers, which is really cool. And they both get Keaton, Batman, and Sasha Calle Supergirl to fight a threat. They don't really know what threat it is. It is question mark Zod, but we don't really know yet. Zod is confirmed to be in the movie, so maybe it is Zod. And then they lose, and Barry 1 and 2 try to reverse time to save the universe, but it fails. Again, and then Barry 1 gives up, the one Barry that we know, he gives up, but Barry 2 doesn't. That's when Future Flash, the Black Flash wearing Barry, appears, revealing that he tried to repeat it multiple times, but it failed. So instead of repeating to stop this incident, he enters the Speed Force and tries to kill the one person who did this in the first place, which is Barry 1. So that's basically how the plot basically works. That's basically the main idea of the movie, according to these leaks. And like I said, I think it's interesting enough. I think it depends a lot on how they explain it in the movie to not make it too complicated, but we'll see. The way Erza's Barry is portrayed in this film has him act more like a Wally-Bart hybrid than he does Barry in some scenes. So that's interesting. It's not really just like Barry. It's more of a Wally-Bart type of hybrid, which is, I don't know why they would call him Barry then. I mean, I guess Barry is the most popular iteration of the character thanks to the show. But still, it's like, Apart from some scenes, Erza acts a bit like our comic Barry. He gets the heart and essence of the character right and only acts like Wally-Bart hybrid in some scenes, mostly in the humor parts. Some examples of this is whenever, apparently it's going to be whenever Barry freaks out over, like a fangirl over the Batmobile. That's some example of him being like Bart and Wally. But besides that, apparently, besides the comic relief, he does act like Barry. It's just the comic relief that doesn't really match the character, apparently. Okay, now, moving on to more plot leaks. Zod successfully kills Keaton's Batman and Supergirl. Supergirl gets her neck snapped, and apparently it's actually really, really brutal, and it's actually even worse than whenever Henry Cavill's Superman snapped Zod's neck. So that's really interesting, and it's kind of weird, so that's cool. Obviously, this is probably going to be whenever they lose, and then they have to turn back time to get him back, because we already know Keaton's going to be the future Batman, and I don't think Supergirl's going to get done with one movie, so they're going to reverse back time. This is probably the one time that they lose. They're going to have to show us how they lose, and that's probably when they lose, which is going to be, sounds pretty cool how they lose. I think that's going to be a really interesting fight to see. Zod kills Henry Cavill's Superman as a baby. Killing Super Baby leak is apparently 100% true, and apparently Henry Cavill is supposed to be the Superman from Keaton's Batman universe, but like I said, he got killed as a baby by Zod, so that's really, really interesting. Michael Shannon does surprise us for Zod, which as we already know, so that's really, really cool. So then, after that, Future Flash and the Flash have a massive race because Future Flash obviously wants to kill him, the Black Suit Flash, and Barry obviously doesn't want that. He doesn't want to die. So when they do that, they apparently travel through a lot of different universes through the multiverse, and that's whenever you get to see all these really, really cool cameos. Apparently travel through Batman Pattinson's universe, which is really interesting. So I don't know how many people are going to feel about that. I know a lot of people are very mad about that on the internet. So we'll see how people feel about that. So they will travel to Pattinson's Batman universe, then like Carter's Wonder Woman universe, and West Batman universe, Grant Gustin's Flash universe, and etc. So I think that's really, really interesting. I think I can 100% see Grant Gustin's Flash getting traveled there, just because there was Erza Flash cameo in the Flash show, so it just makes sense that Grant Gustin's Flash will show up in this movie as well. I think that's pretty cool, and I think fans would freak out. So I can definitely see that. I don't know how I feel about Pattinson's universe. That's the one that like kind of makes sense. I kind of wish that was kind of separate. But whatever, I guess we have to wait and see how it eventually shows up. Apparently, Superman's existence is left somewhat ambiguous after the movie's over. We don't really know if he's alive or if he's dead. It's just like, Superman's out there. So that's kind of interesting. Zod and Aurora apparently are still alive in the new timeline, since Superman never killed them in this timeline. So that's kind of interesting and weird. I guess I'm all down to see more Zod and Aurora, but they were super cool in Man of Steel. So we'll see what they can do with them in this the rest of the DCU. And any film and TV show, including Peacemaker, released between Man of Steel and Shazam 2, Shazam 2 is included into that, are set in the old timeline. including Shazam 2, which has not come out yet. Shazam 2 is going to be set in the old timeline. Everything after The Flash is set in the new timeline, which includes Green Lantern, Satana, Batgirl, all that type of stuff, is after the new timeline that The Flash creates. But everything before that, everything from Man of Steel to Shazam 2 is in the old timeline, so all that is already old. So that's interesting. I will see what they can change with that. I don't know what they're going to change with that. I'm assuming they're going to change Affleck, obviously, and Henry Cavill Superman, but I think that really sucks. I'm sorry for that car that just passed, but that really sucks. So I have mixed feelings about that. I guess we have to wait and see, and that's really where they're gonna already kind of like make Peacemaker part of the old timeline. It's just kind of weird. We'll see how they can change what they can do that with what they do with that in season 2. My bad, that was a tongue twister. I'm definitely very curious. Maybe they bring Bourne back after he died in the first season. Maybe they bring him back now. I don't know. It's definitely gonna be kind of interesting to see what they can do. Apparently, Iris is only a cameo in this movie, and she only appears at the end when Barry's father is released from prison. So that's kind of interesting and also kind of sad. I mean, I think she should be in the movie more. But I guess if that's what they gotta do, I mean, I guess I don't really know. That sounds kind of bad, but I mean, I guess they have a lot more stuff to focus than just romance, so I guess that's kind of okay. Apparently, Warner Brothers' plan is to use Keaton as a temporary replacement for the DCU, and maybe it could stay as it is and just keep him as Batman, or it could honestly be temporary and bring Pattinson's Batman into this universe, as they will make a Crisis movie. They're building up to a Crisis movie according to this leak, and apparently from there, Pattinson's Batman will be involved into that Crisis project or movie. I'm not really sure what it is, but we don't know what's going to happen after that. We don't know if he's going to stay in the DCU or if he's going to leave. If he does stay in the DCU, if Pattinson's Batman does stay in the DCU, Keaton's Batman is out, but if he doesn't stay in the DCU, then Keaton's Batman stays as Batman in the DCU, which is kind of interesting and kind of weird. So there you go. For all those Pattinson Batman fans that I know there's so much out there, do you like this change? Do you want him to be part of the DCU? Do you want him to be by himself? That's very curious. I'm assuming most of you are going to say by himself. I would prefer him to stay by himself, but I'm kind of curious. So tell me all that down in the comments. I'm definitely curious to hear your thoughts on it, as Warner Bros. Right now is still unsure what they're going to do with Pattinson's Batman in the future. Apparently, a person said the blonde girl who got casted in The Flash, which was a leak that some blonde girl got casted in The Flash, could be playing either a gender-bent Mirror Master or Killer Frost. But that's them guessing because they generally don't know yet. So that's kind of interesting. I'm assuming, if I had to guess myself, I would guess it's Killer Frost, just because I think it's more of a big name. I think that would be cool to see it in a fight. But Mirror Master is also a pretty great choice for here, so it's kind of interesting to see who it is. We'll see. Well, I hope we find out soon. I'm kind of hoping for Killer Frost. We'll see, because I really want to see a Killer Frost versus Flash fight with a big movie budget. I think that would be really, really awesome. Also, the Flash show did that, but they have a certain amount of budget. A big movie budget would be super, super awesome. So that's really, really cool. Now, they did say that don't expect any wild cameos. Keep expectations low on those cameos, because there's not that much cameos as there is. And he feels like overall the film will not only be beloved by general audiences, but also by hardcore Flash audiences. So that's kind of interesting that he does really have faith in this movie and really says that, yeah, this is going to be a pretty good movie. It says that The Flash feels more like a classic fiction adventure in the vein of stories like Alice in Wonderland and Wizard of Oz than a typical superhero movie. So that's kind of interesting. I think it's going to be a really nice vibe to play with. And moving on to some information that I know some of you have been really waiting for. Affleck doesn't die, but isn't part of the new timeline. So he basically dies. I don't really know what that means, you know what I mean? So Affleck doesn't have like a death scene, but he's in part of the new timeline. So technically meaning that does mean that he dies, right? I don't really know how I feel about that. I guess we'll find out after the movie's out. And even after the movie comes out, I still don't think people are going to know, because DC is just like that. So we'll see what they do with it. Apparently, there's no reference to Wally whatsoever from what the guy has heard. So that's kind of sad. I know a lot of Wally fans that really want him to be in the DCU, and they really want to see more live action of Wally. Well, in this is not going to be the case. There's no Wally. There's not even one Wally reference, so I'm sorry to tell you that. And a pretty brave appearance from the Reverse Flash cameo, like I mentioned earlier. Only hardcore DC fans will notice him. Mainstream audiences are going to be confused AF, apparently. So that's interesting. I guess there's another cameo from the Reverse Flash in the movie, and we don't really know where it is. But apparently it is like a really, really hardcore cameo. So I'm interested to see if we can catch it. I hope I can catch it, but we'll see. It's kind of interesting. I still feel weird that the Reverse Flash isn't going to be a big part of a movie that's supposed to be based on Flashpoint, but I guess we'll find out to see what they eventually can do with that. That car was loud. I'm so sorry about that. Alright, now moving on to the mid and post credit scenes of the movie, and these the order that I mentioned, these are subject to change. So maybe the mid credit scene that I say here could be the post credit scene, and the post credit scene could be the mid credit scene. So it might change, but this is what we have for right now. So according to the leaks, the mid credit scene is going to be the Flash tells Aquaman that he wonders if Superman still exists here, and Aquaman kind of just looks at him confused, and they will be Jason Momoa's Aquaman, just in case you were wondering. And then it proceeds to show Sasha Calle is Supergirl smiling at Barry, and he smiles back, and then it shows Barry looking over what's next to Supergirl, and his face is full shock, and the movie ends. Maybe a Cavill nod, but I don't really know. We have no idea if it's a Cavill nod or not, so we're guys going to be left with the question. Henry Cavill is not going to be in the movie according to these leaks, so they're not going to show him by any means or nothing, but maybe a Cavill nod. I am pretty confused. I am wondering. I'm not really sure. We'll see what's on with that. I think it's kind of left like as a question mark, just to like not make fans go mad, but also to not show Henry Cavill Superman. So it's just like they're cheapening it out again. You know, same thing happened with Shazam whenever Henry Cavill showed up, but it wasn't really Henry Cavill. It was just like a Superman suit without the face. You know, I really don't like when they really do that. I wish they could just fix their problems and work together. So mixed feelings on that post credit scene for right now. But I guess with some hope that Henry Cavill Superman could still continue. I guess that does. And then the post-credit scene of the movie is going to be Affleck, Ben Affleck's Batman, comes after Crisis, like it's supposed to be building up the Crisis event, and he says, "Come find us, Barry." So that's cool. At least we know that Ben Affleck will still continue. I guess I know I said earlier that I guess he died, but apparently I guess not. So it's kind of interesting. I have no idea what's going to happen there, but I think it's really cool that at least we're going to see Ben Affleck in the Crisis event. I think it's going to be really, really awesome. So that's cool, and I guess they're building up to this bigger event of Crisis in the movies. I have no idea how they're going to build up to it, but I'm excited for it, I guess, because there's going to be a bunch of characters. I guess we'll find out. But that's the post-credit scene. The last credit scene, I think a lot of fans are going to be confused. No, I think a lot of mainstream audiences are going to be confused, and fans are going to be freaking out. So it's going to be like a win-lose type situation. But whatever, I think those are the post-credit scenes for the movie. And I think this cool. I think they're interesting. I think they have interesting stuff on them. I really hope that they can live up to whatever they're building up to. So yeah, that's basically the post-credit scene and the mid-credit scene of the movie. That's basically the whole leak for the movie. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of the leak of The Flash, the plot leak of The Flash. I really hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, if you did, then just make sure to leave a like. It's really, really helpful if you leave a like for this video. It really helps our videos. So please leave a like and tell me down all in the comments about your thoughts on these leaks, things that you like, things that you hated. I'm fully on curious. I'm really, really curious to hear people's thoughts. So tell me all your thoughts on the comments, things that you really like, things that you really hated, things that you would want to see, things that you maybe don't want to see, all type of stuff. I'm just very, very curious. Tell me that down in the comments. And lastly, make sure to subscribe for a lot of other content, DC, Marvel, Star Wars, everything that you can just think of. I cover in this video, mainly just really big movies and big shows. But you see me covering stuff like this, so I'm just subscribe for all that great content that I think you're going to enjoy. And yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And this is J Entertainment out.